We went from rags to riches. Rags to riches. We went from rags to riches. Look at how far we come, and to think it's the beginning, yet we're far from done. We didn't make it as a scholar, but we're far from dumb. And ain't nobody wanna see us, we're too far to run. Yo, to think we were chilling in bandos with dirt on our shirt, kinda looking like camo. Whole rack full of shoes, and before it was sandals. Got lights in the crib, so no more burning candles. I remember taking a bus, living in the ghetto, thank God it just never stuck. Now we pushing even harder, no longer rely on luck. Went from bags up in the arms, some keys and could start the truck. Homie, we never taking a break, time is wasted.
Boom, what's going on, everybody? David Breedlove back again. Thank you guys for hopping on the video. Hopefully you'll support the channel, like, subscribe, share it on your Facebooks, join the Facebook group, become part of the community. I'm the co-founder of the Clever Moneymakers, but this is my Recovery and Riches podcast. And the reason I'm putting this together is for all you people out there that are in recovery, right? But you're able to learn how to apply these principles through other parts of your life, like your marriage, your relationship, your job, your social engagements. Like, you're improving all these areas in your life, but for some reason you think that when it comes to your finances, you're stuck in this box, right? Or you're stuck in this job and you'll never be able to get out of that because maybe you have felonies, maybe you have a bad past, DUIs, whatever it is. And I'm making this channel to tell you that that is not an excuse anymore, because I personally have 3 felonies: manufacture, distribution, conspiracy, and fraud. And then I also have 3 DUIs. I don't know, countless amounts of misdemeanor possessions and disorderly conducts and all sorts of stuff. But I've been clean and on a right path and off of heroin and hard drugs and all that kind of stuff for a little bit over 6 years now. So, and through that process, I started really working on myself. And me personally, like, I dove into the 12 steps. It was something that I avoided doing my whole life. And then I figured I was finally going to give it a shot. So I started working on the step work. And that's when things started getting better for me. Now, if you're not in a 12, I'm not promoting a 12-step program. I'm just saying that that's what worked for me. Personally, I just believe as long as you're doing something about your problem, about your issue, and you're just not ignoring it, hoping it goes away by itself, then you're on the right path, right? You're on the right path. So for me, I started making money online about a year ago. I've been a business owner now for a few years with a construction business that I'm transitioning out of, and now I'm working on my online businesses where I do network marketing and affiliate marketing. I promote other people's products and I make monthly residual passive income on top of that. And you know what they didn't ask me when I decided I'm going to give this a shot? They didn't ask me for my criminal background. They didn't ask me if I had ever used drugs in the past. They didn't ask me, why didn't I have a job at the moment? They didn't ask me to take a urine. They didn't ask me to do any of this kind of stuff. Not that the urine part would have mattered, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it didn't matter what I had done in the past for me to start this type of business up. And it barely cost me anything to do it. And I started doing it while I had my construction business because my construction business wasn't doing that great. I was downsized. I couldn't find good guys. It was just me. And I just really wasn't enjoying that work anymore. You know what I mean? So I started doing this and learning about it, and I started making money online. I made like over $2,000 in my first month, and it changed my life. At that point, I was like, I want to do this forever. Now, am I going to say that you're going to have those results? No, maybe not. But the reason I'm making these videos is tell you that you can have those results. You can have those results and more. And what I found is that my message of recovery and what I've been through and the things that I learned throughout my recovering process, when I applied them to trying to build a following online and starting up a business online where I was coaching people, where I was mentoring people, and I was bringing people into my opportunity. Those messages were the ones that worked. They loved hearing about how I went from rags to riches, almost from recovery to riches. And I started sharing more and more about that kind of stuff. And my following grew and grew and grew. And I didn't understand, because for a while I was trying to keep the two separate, right? I didn't want to talk about having to put God first. I didn't want to talk about um, that I was a recovering addict, or that I had had felonies, or that I served time, right? I didn't want to talk about how I was ungrateful when I was younger, and how I, you know, disrespected my family and all this kind of stuff. But like, I had to get to this point in my life where, you know, everything was stripped from me. And then I had to do that a few more times until I finally was ready to do something different. But the more I started talking about that, the more people started reaching out to me, you know, and not all of them had that drug addiction past, but most can relate with that kind of story, and most find hope in that kind of story. Because if you can go from where we've been as addicts or as alcoholics, whatever you are, struggling, if you can go from there and turn your life around, you can help anybody turn their life around, right? And with the right guidance, you can do it a little bit quicker. So this video here, this is about how do we do that, right? So what I did was I started a Facebook group. And this was after I was already involved with the business. And this is when I was diving heavy into marketing and how to utilize social media marketing, right? And what I found was that on Facebook, in a closed group, I could be transparent and I could be vulnerable with the people that were in my business. And I could really start to show them that all you have to have is have a desire to achieve and be working on your personal development, right? And mostly where I was getting most of my information was from my recovery books. Now, I was also breaking into other personal development books and finance books and business books and all that kind of stuff. But my main message of passion was coming from what I learned about myself trying to recover from drug addiction. So you guys have hope. There is no barrier. You just have to start thinking differently. Start approaching life differently. Right? When I bring somebody into my opportunity, I look at desire. I look at, you know, what does this person want to do with their life? Are they ready for something like this? Are you ready for change? Because a lot of people are going to tell you in the recovery process that maybe you can't do something like this, or that it's going to take away from your recovery. And personally, I think that's bullshit. This process has made my recovery stronger. And I'm not saying that to tell you that these people in recovery are telling me bad stuff. It's not everybody. Everybody has their own opinions, and we're supposed to put, you know, that aside. You know, but a lot of people can only talk about their own experiences, and really that's what they should, right? But I was told to start applying what I was learning in recovery in all aspects of my life, and all those things would get better. And I was doing that in all aspects of my life, except for my finances. I mean, I was moving up in my job as a result of applying my spiritual principles to my work ethic, for sure. I was definitely moving up. And then I hit the highest rank I could at the landscape company I was at. I was their foreman. So once I hit that, I was at a wall. And what I've always found is that when you're setting goals for yourself, right, you want to start setting goals, new goals, before you hit the goal that you're currently trying to achieve. So say you're coming up on the edge of that, you just got a couple more things you got to do, and then you're ready to move on to your next goal. Don't wait until you hit that wall, because that's where complacency starts, right? You achieve a goal and you're like, okay, I'm going to take a month off before I set up another goal. What happens? 3-4 months go by. Maybe you didn't use, maybe you didn't, but just you got complacent, right? You were just relaxing. You noticed like maybe the relationship with your girlfriend or your boyfriend got kind of stray, and maybe you put on a couple pounds. Maybe you're not feeling too good about yourself. Stop maybe writing on the step work. You finish the step, or whatever your process is, and you take a little break. Before you know it, you're all caught up in your head. Things aren't going too well, and now you have to like scramble to get things back in order. So the way I like to do things now is, when I can see myself coming up to a goal, I'm already setting another goal. I don't want to take time off. I don't want to be comfortable. I don't want to be complacent, right? Because that's where I find myself in trouble. So you find something that you're passionate about. And I'm passionate about recovery, but I'm also passionate about changing my financial state. But I didn't realize that the two could become one. I didn't realize that until I started to apply it, right? So when people were asking me for help, and people were, and I was starting to apply, like, well, first we got to work on acceptance. Are you ready to take an opportunity like this on and give it your whole? Because a lot of people, they'll do this, right? They'll get involved with business. They'll try and get a couple sales or whatever it is, and they don't get anything. And after 2 weeks, oh, it's too hard, I quit. Being involved in online business is a process. It's a trade. It's a skill. People that are out there killing it, that are doing well, like myself, like my partner, like some of these maybe famous entrepreneurs you see, they didn't just like fall right into it and were massively successful. You make a lot of mistakes and you learn from that point, and then you change, right? In my recovery process, my sponsor used to always tell me, whenever I was like, hey, I think I'm going to go out with this girl, or I'm going to do this, he would just say, well, don't use and get some experience and share about it. He didn't say you're going to use. He didn't say don't do that. He just said, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, but make sure that you're learning from it, and make sure you're talking about what you're going through. And when I started doing those things with my business, where I would be like, oh, I did this and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but now I'm trying this and I'm getting better results, right? And I started sharing about that kind of stuff. And I found myself in my business process, and I found myself that I was becoming more of a mentor, and I was helping people, and I was, guiding them to get results. And the more people I was guiding and the more people I was helping, the better results I was getting as well. It's all about consistency. It's all about, being transparent. It's about finding who you are in the process. When I first got involved, I was trying to be other people, right? Started wearing button-up shirts and was considering cutting my hair and like all this stuff. And then like after I started like getting heavily involved online, I found that those things didn't really matter to people online. What mattered was the message and the vehicle. So I got people involved in my Facebook group, and now there's a bunch of people in there sharing. Some have recovery paths, some of them don't. But I'm leading them by example, and people are following me because I'm genuine with them. So as addicts, as people that are in the recovery process, alcoholics, whatever, right? You're at a serious advantage, because you maybe have already started this process. You just haven't applied it to your finances. So don't just go off of what I'm saying, but you can feel free to join the Facebook group. I'm going to put a link for it down the base below, and you can see like what is really happening in my group. And you can see that it's very similar to a recovery style process. It's just, let's just call it recovering from the 9 to 5. All right. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you got some value out of it. Like I said, my name is David Breedlove. I am the founder of the Clever Money Makers, and this is going to be our Riches and Recovery, or Recovery and Riches podcast, whichever way I decide to go with it. But regardless, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff, and give me some comments, give me some feedback in the base below. I really appreciate you guys. All right, have a good one.
We went from rags to riches, rags to riches. We went from rags to riches. Look at how far we come, and to think it's the beginning, yeah, we're far from done. We didn't make it as a scholar, but we're far from dumb, and ain't nobody wanna see us, we're too far to run. Yo, to think we were chilling in bandos with dirt on our shirts, kinda looking like camo, whole rack full of shoes, and before it was sandals. Got lights in the crib, so no more burning candles.